Hello, welcome back to the HCCTV Student Lounge. This is a show done by HCC students for HCC students to give your opinions in news, entertainment, and what's going on in school. Hi, Karina. Are you alive after the Fashion Fusion 2021?
Yes, Kyle. I slept so good. I was very tired, but I was proud. And I enjoyed watching it over again. And we're glad the results were as we expected. Now we're also joined today by Francisco, Josh, Andres, and Chad. And we'll also have three special guests today: V. Hua, Evan Leslie, and Raquel Martinez, who are here to talk about the HCC Fashion Fusion Show. But first, let's move into our top three news of the week. So first, there's a shelter providing hope and care for pets, and you can volunteer to be helping sort pet food and or making pet toys. So sometimes they may have other tasks that specific day, but it really depends on the needs of the shelter. So if you're lucky, you might get some pet playtime at the end. And the dress code for volunteering is clothes that are comfortable, like t-shirts, jeans, and closed-toe shoes. So no dresses, skirts, and how is volunteering. This is hosted by the Coleman College Student Life. It will happen on May 14th, and it's from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And we'll provide the address over here so you can check it out. Now, graduation day is May 14th, and we're hosting a Road to the Future grad parade on the 13th. And from the uncertainties of the current pandemic and snowstorms to juggling your schoolwork and upkeeping your grades, it's been quite a challenging year. So now it's the time to celebrate, and you can join the parade by decorating your cars, and it's just to celebrate the well deserved success and as you embark on your new road to the future. It will happen on May 13th, like I said, from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. For that time, you have to check in at 10 a.m. And then it will happen from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. And for that, you have to check in at 11 a.m. But we'll provide all the information in the description of the video and the address where this will happen. So have you ever gone to a parade celebrating your graduation, Kyle?
Yeah, well, it's funny because my first time I graduated, I actually missed my ceremony because for me it was not a big deal. And then my friends was like, "What do you mean? It's a big deal. Just got a certificate." So when I graduated again at HCC, I had a lot of fun and we made sure to celebrate because it's a important moment. Like we made it and we spent a lot of hours and work hard for it, and we deserve to celebrate.
Yeah, Kyle. Well, fun fact is that I've never been in a graduation ceremony since high school because when I graduated in high school, I had to. That's the first time I came to the U.S. and I wasn't able to go to the graduation. I received my diploma and everything, and then after that, a lot of things happened. So I graduated from Lone Star, and I graduated while I was attending other schools. So I was busy, so I didn't go to that graduation. And then pandemic happened, and I graduated from an associate's and a certificate at HCC during the pandemic, and I didn't have a ceremony. So everything was virtual, and this kind of things are very fun. I mean, I would go to a parade if it was my graduation now. So cool. Okay, so the we brought the runway to you. So the HCC and the MFAH Fashion Fusion live stream that happened on May 6th. I'm sorry, but you can still watch it through the website, through our website and the MFAH website. So the Fashion Fusion, it's antiquities to modern art. It was inspired by the beauty, array, and depth of the Museum of Fine Arts Houston art collection. But we'll talk more about it when we join our experts on the field. Now, let's begin our first topic, which makes way to a great discussion. So, how much does fashion matter to you? What do you think about that, Kyle?
So it's funny because in Brazil we kind of care a lot about that, But I noticed that usually ladies and women they prefer to spend more time like think about what they're gonna wear, the outfit, is it matching or not. And I always struggle a lot to figure out what matches with what. And I still get that wrong sometimes. So sometimes I need to Google it. Does this color match with this color? Because I'm like trying to figure out how to do it. I never care too much, but I feel like the older we get, the more we start caring about those things, you know, because a lot of people say, oh, the way you dress is the way, I forgot how they say exactly, but that's pretty much what you wear is what you are, you know. So so now a lot of people really take in consideration the way what you're wearing. But this fashion fusion was actually really good to see the different options and different designs and things that honestly, like I don't even know how they were able to come up with that idea, like because it has so much details, different fabrics and things like that, and that surprised me because like you need to have so much on your head and think about all those details, so it's pretty impressive. So I'm really thinking about the way I see fashion from now on after yesterday, especially after watching hours and hours of those beautiful outfits and beautiful models, beautiful designers. So yeah, it's tough, man.
Well, in my case, yeah, I agree. Back in Bogota, where I'm from, Colombia, we do pay attention a lot to that. And when I came here, it was a lot different. But what I'm getting to learn a lot is how to have those pieces of clothes that are going to match with everything. So people tell me that I wear a lot of black, and it's because black matches with everything and for every occasion. So it works for me. So what I'm learning is, like wear those things that you can use under your jacket or whatever you're going to cover that you can match like for different outfits. So I don't care a lot, but I'm kind of learning how to like wear those for different outfits. I don't know, I say that so many times. What about you, Andres?
Yeah, Carolina, I'm from Colombia too. So I think in Colombia, the people they paid a lot of attention about how the people dress, about what clothes the people has. I think people here in United States they are different. So I remember when I was taking classes in the university, the students look in details how people dress, your pants, the color of your shoes, if your shoes match with your pants, like things like that. But I think here, for example, in HEC, I think the people they don't care about that.
Yeah, I think unconsciously people do care a lot about fashion. I wanted to talk about movies and TV, how they always like kind of tailor their characters to what you want people to think of them. So like the main character, he'll usually be like, just kind of like wear t-shirts and jeans and stuff. But then the bad person or whatever will have like really nice suits or will wear really nice clothes. Because I think um, we kind of identify more with the people that want to be like lazy about stuff. We kind of want to ignore the fact that, yeah, maybe we should put a little more work into our clothes. Maybe that's just an American thing. I've never been to Colombia, but yeah, that's something that I've noticed.
I really enjoy the flexibility here. So I rather like not pay attention and overthink it, and just I don't know, like feel comfortable. I that's something I do feel that I want to keep doing. Like feel comfortable. If I don't feel comfortable, I will change so many times and I won't go out. Okay, well, it was very good to hear you guys. But let's move into our week's guest. So who do you have for us, Kyle?
We have three people. We're getting good at this. So first, I would like to present V. Hoover. She's the fashion design professor at HCC. We also have Evan Leslie. He's the managing producer of public programs at the Museum of Fine Arts. And we also have Raquel Martinez. She graduated in fashion design and fashion merchandise at HCC. And she's also the winner for the categories of antiquities from the Fashion Fusion 2021. So excited to have all of you guys. So let's start first with the question for V. V, can you please tell me what was your role on the Fashion Fusion 2021?
Pretty much to be the liaison from Houston Community College as we collaborate with the Museum of Fine Arts, something that we've done since 2015. And pretty much it was just more so of helping the students and directing them what the themes were, what the artwork was, and kind of guiding them in the right direction to building their pieces for the competition.
So did you also help to choose the designers who were gonna be on the finals for the Fashion Fusion, or that's something that someone else chose?
So every year we will set a deadline for the students, and we normally get an average of anywhere between 80 to 120 initial entries. And then we'll invite the first set of judges to come in, and they're judges who are like photographers, stylists, show merchandise, store merchandisers, and they'll help us narrow it down to the top 20.
So since you were talking about the application process, let me ask Raquel. So Raquel, how was it for you as a student to apply? Because you did mention that That was not your first time applying, but that was the first time you actually got in, right? So were you excited?
Third time's a charm. It's my third time applying for for getting into this, and as she said, the competition is fierce. There's so many students that apply, and even if you don't get in, you can't even be mad because how good the people that got in, how good it is. Even though you put your heart and soul into your piece that you do, you can't even be mad because you know that they did a good job too.
Yeah, and I honestly I saw your outfit, and I don't even know if outfit is the right term for fashion. I don't want to use that. I don't know if you guys use a designer. What words do you guys even use to
All
like?
those words.
Okay, good. I'm not
Whatever comes to mind.
because I don't know if you guys have like even like a completely different word, and I'm like saying that and like, oh my god, we don't say outfit, we say this,
No.
Okay, that's good. So so it's funny that you actually graduated in two different certificate. So tell me how was even that? Because that definitely helped you to be where you are right now and to create a masterpiece. Because honestly, I told you that I love the outfit you create, and I would love to use that. I would definitely use that. Especially, I can imagine myself at a party using that, and I'm like, wow, that's so cool.
We'll have to make that happen. We'll have to get you an outfit.
I would love it. I would love it. So again, just go back to the question. Sorry, we went a little far, but
Sorry, yeah.
tell me how those two degrees, they relate to each other. Like, do you think, they both were essential to be where you are?
Yes. Well, I finished my fashion design degree first, and I know how to make these wonderful pieces, like you said, but I didn't necessarily know how to market it, how to sell it, how to build my brand and things like that. So for a lot of the classes overlap for Houston Community College. So I figured why not keep going and get my second degree for just a little bit longer. Um, and all of those credits as well transfer for the merchandising degree, fashion merchandising degree. They transfer over to U of H. So I'd actually start out as a junior over there if I wanted to get my bachelor's. So it was the right decision to launch me into my next set of goals that I'm trying to accomplish.
I can see, and it worked really well. And congratulations again for getting first prize. As we all said, it's a really tough competition. I had no idea it was that many applications. So just the fact that was your first time that you got in, and also you won. So that's pretty impressive. So
Yeah.
first time and first place. So that's awesome. And I want to ask to Evan. So we talk about fashion and arts, and how do they even relate? How do we come up with these events? Because some people think there was two completely different things, but once we saw the film from the fashion fusion, we're like, wow, that's a perfect combination.
I think that's right, Kyle. I like, you said that Raquel made a masterpiece, right? That's what you said. And our museum, you guys have been there. If you haven't, come to the Museum of Fine Arts, all of you. It's a great place to visit. It's full of masterpieces, things that are very, very old, things that have been made just recently, things that are from halfway across the world, masterpieces by Houstonians. And okay, you guys, fair warning, you might start to blush, but this was my first time working with Houston Community College. I work at the museum. I'm one of those lucky people that gets to work at the museum all the time, among all those masterpieces. But V, as a mentor to these designers, she's incredible. She should be so proud. The unbelievable work that she was able to nurture out of these designers, I'm just in awe. Raquel and your colleagues that were in the show, every look, one after the other, was more inventive, more creative, beautifully constructed. They looked right at home next to the masterpieces at the museum. And Carolina and Kaio, I don't know how you did it. You're sorcerers, you're miracle workers. You put together a virtual fashion show in what, like just a couple of weeks. And I know how much work it was, but you made all those designs look great and you made the museum look great. And so I'm so happy and proud of you for that. So I think you hit the nail on the head, Mr. Kaio. masterpieces. They belonged in the museum. I have one other thing to say. The Museum of Fine Arts Houston should be a place where creative people feel at home. The museum is full of artwork made by creative people going back not hundreds of years, thousands of years. It is a home for creative people. If you are a creative person, Raquel, fashion designer, if you're a creative person, Chaz, Andres, Carolina, Caio, Francisco, Josh, you belong at the museum. We want musicians, we want poets, we want fashion designers at the museum. So that's why they belong together.
That's a wonderful answer, and I really appreciate you, bringing up the fact that we really work hard, and that's really true. I think it was an amazing experience, and I was so happy to be at a museum. I always grew up. My mom's an artist, so for me that feels like home, as you said. And the fact that I was at the museum while it was closed, just with the people that were working the project, I felt so special. Like who has an opportunity to do that? With all the camera gear, doing some really cool shots, like I felt so happy. That was such a great project to work on, and I think, as you mentioned, I think that the combination of passion with the good opportunity and everything, hardworking, and of course supervised by Tamara, and also you, Evan, you were there the whole time for us, answering emails, calls at 10 p.m., and making sure we got everything on time. V2 communicating with us. So I think that we made the team work well. So I'm really proud of us. Excited for next year's. Let's see how we're gonna do. Are we gonna do virtual or not? Do we even have a plans for that, or are we still talking about?
2022, that's when we'll be back for Fashion Fusion. Don't ask me what the world's going to be like in 2022 after this year. I have no idea. But what we proved this year is we're going to make it work no matter what.
That's very true. And before I forget to ask you, Evan, so Raquel actually won a class at the museum. Or can you tell me a little bit about what's this prize?
Sure. People probably know that the museum is a museum, right? You can come to look at art. But the cool thing about the Museum of Fine Arts Houston is you can also come to learn how to be an artist and learn more about art history, because we have this really phenomenal school called the Glassell School. It's a very good school. I don't know if it's as good as HCC. It's a very good school, though. Now, it's an excellent school in all sorts of ways. It's a place where if you're aspiring to be a professional artist, you can really get incredible training. And winners receive 2 courses on us at the Glassell School. So an art history course, so you can learn more about the history of great art, and a practical course, an art course and a studio art course where you can get guidance from some of Houston's most well-respected, established painters, sculptors, printmakers, photographers. You can work on your artwork there. So Raquel, I'm looking forward to seeing you around the museum over at the Glassell School.
Before we wrap up, Kyle, we didn't have the chance to explain to the audience what was really our collaboration, yours and mine. So tell the audience what exactly were you assigned to with this project?
What a great opportunity. So I'd like to tell first, I think the challenge, that's something that we need to talk about. It's first was time, because we had a really crunch time to shoot all the models, like carrying lights around the museum, being careful to not hit anything. So that was really challenging for me, trying to figure out how we're gonna do the lighting in 10 minutes, because we had no more time than that. But at the same time, I think it turned out pretty good. I think the other part was the editing. I never thought it would take me so long to edit, but since it was like a long show with like different shots, different cameras, different music, so many aspects of it. So that was really challenging to spend like that amount of hours, but I think it turned out pretty good, especially for the live stream. So, and my time now to ask you, Carolina, since you're making questions now. So what did you do? What did you think about the Fashion Fusion?
First of all, so honored to work with the HTC and together with MFAH. When Kaio told me about this project and he asked me, he was like, "Do you want to join me so you can collaborate with me?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to go there." And we went to shoot. We went okay, the day we went, we spent almost the whole day shooting. The day was awesome outside, but we had to figure out the lighting because it was so sunny and so many things moving around. Evan helped us with all the moving stuff, and it was a great learning experience. I enjoyed it so much. It's gonna be so great in both of our resumes. And then for the live stream, it's so cool how we made it. We came up with so many problems, like technical problems, and we addressed them. We had so many backup plans, and we figured it out, and it was amazing. Like, I helped live streaming with Kyle, and it was awesome. So I'm very honored, Evan and everybody. Yeah, it was awesome. But I want to hear more from V. So what kind of questions do you have for V, Kyle?
I would like to ask her, since we're talking about the students, and she probably at this point have had a lot of students with different visions, different uh, ways to think or create designs. So I want to ask her, a fashion fusion, how can it even help the students? It's something for the resume. It's, they get a little bit of pressure for the real world. So can you tell me, V?
One of the biggest benefits from participating in this competition is that it's definitely the creativity, because when we push our students out into the industry, we always tell them to think about what's marketable and what's going to sell, because at the end of the day, we got to eat. So when they participate in an event such as this, we tell them, go all out. Whatever you thought was impossible, it's going to be possible. And we're going to figure out how to do this. Kind of going back to Raquel's piece in particular, I remember when she first brought it, and she brought this mask, which was the Anubis mask, and it was still kind of being kind of come to life and form. And she was describing to me this issue she was having, and she figured out a solution for it. And then after that, she also kind of presented to me, he's like, well, if this mask doesn't work, I also made this mask. And she made it within one day, and I was completely floored. So that's kind of something that we always want to try to push for. This is, while you're in school, take full advantage of the creativity that you can have.
And what about you, Raquel? We asked her, but I want your perspective as a student. What sort of opportunities do you think it can bring it to you, and how was to be part of this big project?
One of the main benefits for the students, I feel, of course, besides having something to put on their resume, is also the collaborations between the Museum of Fine Arts and the students. It's just a great opportunity to get your name out there. Like V said, the competition is fierce. You push yourself. And like I said, this is the third time I've tried, and it paid off because I won. I went completely out of my comfort zone on what I would have normally done. I did men's wear instead of women's wear. Before the pandemic happened, I had actually made that mask that V was talking about. Little did I know that we'd all have to wear one for the rest of the year, but yeah, I think just and also just for me personally, just trying and trying again, and it paid off. Don't get too discouraged, just come back and try again.
Awesome. Well, Kel, thank you so much for being here, and congratulations again. And I hope to see you again. And again, let me know if you want a new model for your outfit. I would love to be a model for it. It's so
I
beautiful.
sure will.
Okay, perfect. And well, V, thank you so much too for being here. And Evan, it was a great experience to be working with you guys. And I probably will see you again on the show.
That was fascinating to hear about so much about the Fashion Fusion experience. Thanks to everybody for your time. As you know, we also cover things that are entertaining to watch. So what shows are out that you want to talk to us about, guys?
Hi, Carolina. I want to talk to you guys about Queer Eye, which is essentially, it's kind of got a bit of everything. It's like a home makeover and like person makeover show. Essentially, people submit you, submit you and why they think you should be on the show, and essentially the Fab Five show up and help you kind of update your wardrobe, update the things that you want to do. There's been some really interesting episodes where there are people who, pretty much just went out in like shirts and t-shirts all the time because they were too busy, because sometimes they had been homeless for a bit, so they just literally didn't have any other clothes, because they were so busy working on themselves in other ways that they didn't realize that like you need to start with yourself with like basic self-care and like grooming and making sure you look nice. Like putting an effort for yourself needs to start with yourself and not with just everything else around you. I think it's a really cute show. It's got some really wholesome moments, and I think a lot of people would enjoy it.
So I'd like to recommend the 10-part miniseries, The Last Dance, which chronicles the greatest American sports team in professional history, the 1990 Chicago Bulls, led by none other than Michael Jordan. So if you know anything about Michael Jordan, is that he had a interesting fashion sense, from very boxy sports coats, wide leg pants, oversized shirts and suits. He had his little gold hoop earrings, berets, cut off t-shirts, you name it. And of course, the iconic black pinstripe Bulls uniform. But about Michael Jordan, and something that the documentary covers a bit, is that Jordan once violated the NBA dress code by wearing different colored shoes than his teammates that weren't team colors. So the NBA put out a letter saying, oh, this violated the league policy, and Jordan got fined $5,000, but he didn't care. He's Michael Jordan. So Jordan and Nike, who produced his shoes, turned it into a marketing sensation, and those shoes, which were the original Air Jordans, were deemed to be banned, which made them so much cooler and everyone wanted them. Michael Jordan was the epitome of when you look good, you feel good. And Michael Jordan always looked good. And I repeat, no one is better than Michael Jordan.
Well, Josh, thank you very much. So I'm actually going to recommend something that I just thought about it. So there's a show that I recommended here before. It's called Abstract, but they have a particular episode that's about designer. And it's really cool because they talk about the process of creating clothing, pretty much what they've been doing. So if you're into fashion, and even if you have a little bit of interest, it's a really good show. And the whole show is amazing, but that particular episode is really cool, and you gotta get to know the process that they go to create something amazing, like shoes or even dresses and clothing. And you see, it may sound easy, but once you see that, I was like, okay, this is way more complicated than I thought. So amazing. And well, that's my recommendation for today. And it's time to say goodbye, guys. It was a really good show. I hope you guys enjoy. And again, you can always watch the live stream that we did for the Fashion Fusion on the MFAH page. And it's amazing. I shot it. I edited. Carolina also helped to shoot. So it's amazing because we did it. Okay. So as always, I see you next week. And thank you so much. Stick to the end because we have the funny meme or the video of the week.
Kaya, don't you want to show us something?
No, just kidding. I do. So guys, we want to show a little bit of the Fashion Fusion 2020. Enjoy.
Also, don't forget to send us your opinion. Also, send us topics that you would like to discuss. And we're trying to grow our audience. So please share this video with your friends and family. And check out the live stream for the Fashion Fusion show. We'll see you next time on the Student Lounge.